you will continue to be more and more successful the more that you work at it. Ryan Reynolds is a phenomenal actor with a lot of other traits that are going for him. He's charismatic, he owns a couple different businesses, and he puts his name on pretty much everything that he does. I really admire the work that Ryan Reynolds does. And today, I wanted to talk about admiration and role models. I'm not going to talk about Ryan Reynolds this whole time. But one thing that I did today was my better than yesterday, which was start reading the biography of someone you admire. Now, in reading a biography of Ryan Reynolds, and actually a couple different ones, I came to the conclusion that there are 10 pieces of advice that you need to have in order to be successful at life. And maybe your success looks different than what Ryan Reynolds does, and that's totally cool. I think that these 10 pieces of advice is something that any role model that you look at would have and possess. And so with that said, here are the 10 pieces of advice I learned from reading about Ryan Reynolds' life. Number one, you don't have to come from a place of success in order to succeed. At looking at Ryan Reynolds' life, his parents were just regular everyday people. And even if you look at his brothers, they all ended up doing regular career goals. Whereas Ryan, he wanted to do what he's doing now. And he didn't have always the financials to be able to do it. He did probably have some. I mean, he grew up in Kitsilano in Vancouver. But I think that he started just the same way that everybody else does. I mean, even after he was performing and doing film, he ended up quitting for a little bit, starting to go to university, was even a grocery store clerk for a while. So just because you might be doing a job that is to pay the bills doesn't mean that you can't succeed later on in life. Number two, what is right for you isn't always right for somebody else. And again, you can see this in Ryan Reynolds' life. His brothers, a couple of them are police officers. And so Ryan and his brothers have very different goals in their lives, and that's okay. It's okay to have a different goal or to want something different than somebody else. I don't think that you should feel upset or want more. We always tend to look at the grass is always greener on the other side. But really, if you look at your life and you're content and happy at it, then it doesn't really matter what somebody else is doing. It's always up to you what makes you feel good. Number three, you will always get discouraged in your career. But if you stop doing it, you'll never succeed. Now, with Ryan Reynolds, when he was 19, he really didn't like the film scene anymore, and he ended up going to university. And after about 3 months, one of his friends came and said, hey, why don't you come with me to LA and we'll figure it out together. And that's exactly what he did. Also, when you think about Ryan Reynolds' career in general, he's had a lot of great movies and a lot of flops. There's a lot of movies that I watch nowadays where I look at the political correctness of it all and I'm like, eee. And also, I mean, nobody can forget Green Lantern. Not even him. Nor Wolverine Origins. And I think that sometimes instead of looking at those as negatives, you can turn around and make fun of those moments to progress yourself forward. And number four kind of ties in with number three, because you're always going to have those moments where you're going to have critics say that it sucks, or your boss is going to not like what you're doing, or people are going to put you down, even if you're doing something right. And I think that it's important to look at those and grow from those experiences rather than take them at heart and feel some sort of pain and squash it down. I think that in life there are many ups and downs, and it's what we do when we come out of those downs that progresses our life forward. Number five, sometimes you get lucky breaks, but more often than not, you have to create them. And now I'm not going to talk about Ryan Reynolds in this moment. I'm actually going to talk about Adam Sandler. When I look at Adam Sandler's life, one thing that is always fascinating with me is that he created his own success. He created his own films, he directed, he wrote, and it wasn't out of luck that he made a whole bunch of money making these films. And not to mention, he enjoyed doing this too because it was with people that he respected and was friends with. And I think that's something that sometimes we take for granted is, oh, that person got a lucky break, or oh, I can't believe they did that. But a lot of the times you don't see the hard work that goes behind it. I even think about YouTube stars who have a huge following, but it didn't happen just overnight. No, they had to work at it, and yeah, sure, they got lucky with maybe a viral video, but you aren't always guaranteed that luck. So make sure you create it for yourself. Number six is that you always have two sides to your personality. And when I say that, what I mean is that you have your personal self and then the self that everybody else sees. And you don't want to complicate the both of them. I mean, of course, we want to always uphold who we are as a person, but when we're in private, we act a lot differently than we do in public. And this can be seen in one of the interviews that Ryan Reynolds had, where he talked about how he gets all this anxiety before he goes on stage, and just as he enters, it's like something in the back of his mind kicks in and says, hey, I got you, I'll take care of it. And he goes, I wish I could be that person off the screen. But I think that's why he enjoys what he does, is because that other personality takes over to do what you're passionate about. The seventh thing I learned was that no amount of money in the world, nor no lack of money, should prevent you from moving forward in your life. And I think it's interesting. Some places say that Ryan Reynolds is worth $230 million. And that might be true. And to some people, that is a massive sum of money. Actually, probably to most people, that is a massive amount of money. But he keeps doing what he's doing because he loves it. And he keeps on moving forward. He didn't stop at just acting. He started to work with other businesses and companies and owned, teams. And so I think it's important to recognize that no matter how much money you make, you're never going to be able to stop. And if you do, I think you'll find that your life might be a little bit more boring than you anticipated. And likewise, you should never let the lack of money hinder you in going forward with something that you love or something that you think will progress you forward, because you can always take a couple of months to try something out, and if it doesn't work, you can mix it up, or you can say, you know what, that's a sunk cost, and that's okay. Of course, long-term progression is what will help you get to the place that you want and achieve the things that you want, but it's also okay to say, hey, this didn't work out. But it's also okay to recognize when something isn't working and shift to a new perspective. And again, when you don't have any money, it's really can be opening when you get that experience to just explore and do something that you're passionate about. And again, that ties into number 8. You will be more successful than you realize. I don't think that when Ryan Reynolds was young, he thought that he'd be doing all the things that he's doing now. But to be honest, as long as you see in yourself that success and you make proactive steps and smart goals to get you to your next objective, you can achieve way more than you think you can. 10, 20 years ago, I wouldn't imagine that I'm in the position that I am in now. And it really started from just a simple idea. You will continue to be more and more successful the more that you work at it. And also, success doesn't happen in one day. Which again leads me to my ninth piece of advice, which is success doesn't happen in one day. It is something that is continuous and you keep on building towards. The more that you do of one thing, the better you will get. And clearly, Ryan Reynolds has been in a lot of TV and movies, and he has perfected his craft and has moved on to other things, like owning businesses. And so I think that as you cultivate your success, as you grow from the lessons that you learn or from the people that you meet, you can continue to be successful and continue to grow who you are as a person. And finally, number 10, there is no amount of money that will truly fix all of your problems or bring back time that you wish you had. I think about this because in 2008, Ryan Reynolds ran the New York Marathon to raise money for Parkinson's disease, as his father was diagnosed with that. And as much as that money helps towards finding cures and helping others, it doesn't always bring back the time that you've missed with your loved ones. And likewise, again, if you look at Ryan Reynolds' net worth, there's no amount of money that can help heal from a loss or even your own personal demons. Again, Ryan Reynolds still suffers with anxiety, just like a lot of people do in society. So all you can do is keep moving forward and keep on remembering that today is a day to do something new, to spend time with others, and to heal your own personal demons. It's not going to take money. It's going to take something that you have to work on in order to fix. And so with that said, I hope that these 10 pieces of advice give you something to think about and something to challenge in your own life. I think that if you look at any role model, you will see that these 10 pieces of advice kind of fit for anybody. And ultimately, a role model isn't somebody who is famous. It's just somebody who you admire and look up to. My Better Than Yesterday card said that I had to do it based off of a biography. And there's not a lot of unfamous people that have biographies, so that's why I did it on them. But if you even look at a role model in your community, you might notice that they have these 10 same traits and live by these methods. So thanks again. If you like content like this, please like and subscribe. I'm Sid, and thanks for watching.